So I was asked for the story of me, and I said, uh-oh, there's going to be photos, aren't there? So I said, well, let's take a selfie in my office, but that never works out. So I stood back for a second and said, wait a minute. What is really the story of me? And I came up with 3 things. 1, take risks. You need to take risks with your career. Every time I've taken a risk, it hasn't always worked out, but I've always learned something. 2, do something meaningful. It actually makes what you do every day much more interesting and impactful. 3, have fun. We work too hard in any of these jobs, not to pick one. That really is a lot of fun. So I grew up in New York in the 70s and 80s. Terrible, terrible outfits and hairstyles. I hope none of you had to go through that. But it drove me all the way to California, where I went to school and started a series of taking risks, doing something different. And it was different. But it drove me back to New York eventually to decide to work in a law firm doing valuations for legal settlements, which told me I don't want to work in a law firm. But what did I want to do? Did I want to be a businessman? Did I want to be an attorney? Did I want to be a teacher? I decided to go for the money and be a writer, and for a number of years I paid the rent, writing how-to books for organizations, becoming an expert in something, and then moving on to the next topic. I took a small temporary job at a company called Travelers Group, which was a holding company for a lot of companies you might have heard of, things like Solomon Smith Barney and the Corporate and Investment Bank. It's where I first started writing about benefits, and people in the benefits department kept quitting, so I ended up getting benefits jobs for the next 3 years. Travelers Group then merged with Citibank to become Citigroup, 400,000 people, 139 countries, and I spent about 3 years doing merger and acquisition work, weaving together compensation, benefit plans, and equity plans. My wife got a great job in Washington, D.C., invited me to come along, so I lived in Maryland for a number of years after that. I worked for a Citigroup subsidiary called Commercial Credit, designing field compensation plans, home office bonus plans, administering data management and comp programs. This is where I first got my entry into running a data management shop, and I started my lifelong love with data quality, a passion of mine that you see following through now. I actually really enjoyed working at a small subsidiary, getting to know individual people and making differences in their lives. Got another call though from Citigroup saying, you know that big merger we were doing? It's more complicated than we thought. Can you come up here and build some data warehouses and do human capital analytics? So I moved back to New York, not to any of the pretty buildings pictured here, and built data warehouses for them on a large level. I learned large-scale project management. I learned Kanban and Lean and Six Sigma. I even got to spend 6 months in Singapore, a great opportunity if you ever have the chance. Then fast forward, 3 children later, one who thinks he's Harry Potter, a daughter who thinks she's Taylor Swift, and a son who smirks in every photo I try to take of him, moved to Brooklyn, and I took a job with MetLife. There I got the opportunity to design new service delivery programs, got the opportunity to work with learning systems and talent management systems, succession planning systems and talent acquisition systems, and deploy them in 49 countries. That was a lot of time on airplanes. I flew 140,000 miles in 18 months, and I ended up managing a population of 70,000 people. Whereas that's a great accomplishment, it was a far cry from the small individual change I was making in people's lives at Commercial Credit. Started feeling a little anonymous and like I wasn't making a difference anymore. Fast forward, I get a call from New York Life. And this is where I begin the next and best chapter of my HR career. I get to do work that's meaningful. I get to take some fun risks with people who are at the tops of their business. I'm really excited about the next chapter, and I look forward to writing it with each of you.